What's up guys, JV2017 here, and I am super excited because Fallout 4 is less than a month away, and I think I speak for everyone when I say I can't wait to get my hands on it. And Bethesda has put so much effort into making this an instant Game of the Year contender, and also by not revealing too much about the game, you know? They've released small bits of information little by little, but just enough to get all of us Fallout fans very, very excited. And my goal here is to join all of you, my fellow Fallout fans, in this journey towards its release and share the excitement with all of you by covering everything we know so far. That's why I'm proud to say today marks the start of my Fallout 4 pre-release content. Over the next 20 or so days, I will be covering everything you need to know about Fallout 4 before its release date. And also, just a heads up, once the game comes out, my channel will be your #1 hub for Fallout 4 content. I will be uploading so much Fallout 4, and I don't want you all to miss it, so make sure and subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned on my channel for a lot of Fallout 4. I'm talking about a lot here, guys. I am not selling myself short. I have a ton of content already planned in terms of ideas and weekly series that I will continue for months after release. I'm gonna be throwing on that recorder and making plenty of very, very interesting and compelling videos for you guys. So make sure and stay tuned to my channel starting now, and of course when the game comes out on November 10th. But today we're focusing on a general overview of the character system in Fallout 4 because Bethesda has made some key changes that will affect how we craft our Wanderers in terms of perks and special stats. Speaking of which, let's talk about special stats right now. And when we make a new character in Fallout 4, we will have 28 points to allocate among all of the special categories with a minimum of 1 point requirement in each of those special stats. So what does this mean? Well, in previous games, if we compare Fallout 4 to, say, Fallout 3 and New Vegas, we had way more points at the beginning of the game. We have far less in Fallout 4. In fact, in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, we had 40 points to start out with. It used to be able to be 5 in each category, plus 5 extra. And of course, you would knock some down to the minimum and then push some to the maximum, and it seemed like you had a lot of points. Now, it seems like we don't have a lot. We essentially only have 4 in each category at the beginning. Of course, you can take those up and down as you will, keeping the 1 minimum, but I mean, we have a lot less to work with here. And so really, I think the idea here is that we have intense training, and that's kind of wrapped up with the perks, which is something I'll go into in another video. But the initial build is probably less important in Fallout 4 than it ever has been because of this intense training. We're going to be able to add another point into our special just by leveling up. It'll just be 1 level up, and we'll be able to go up from 5 strength to 6 strength if we need it for a certain perk. Also, there's speculation of bobbleheads. Of course, that played a role in previous games, but we don't know anything about bobbleheads yet, so that's pure speculation. And so really, I think we can just assume that the initial build is just not as important with the special stats, but it's absolutely going to affect the first probably 10 hours of your game by a landslide, so it still is an important part of the game. The next big change in the character system is to the perks, and perks work entirely different than they have before. All of the perks that are available are actually tied to specific special stats, and they're actually locked to those stats and to a certain number that you have in those stats. So basically that means you unlock them by having a certain amount of points in a specific special category. So essentially, Todd Howard gave us an example of this in their character system, Bethesda's official Fallout 4 video, and basically said, if you want, intimidation, which is the charisma 10 perk, you need to have 10 charisma in order to have it, you can have that perk right at the beginning of the game. There's no level requirement for any perks, which is great. And so, but you need to have that 10 charisma. So all of the perks are locked behind basically special stat walls. And so you'll have to have a certain amount of special stat in order to unlock a very specific perk. And so I'm gonna have a more in-depth video on perks coming soon, but also perks have multiple ranks that modify the perk abilities and what they actually do. So anyways, the key thing here is it's different than what it used to be. It used to be that perks were independent from the special stats. They were kind of related, and they sometimes had a special requirement, not all the time, and they also had a stat requirement. And something to keep in mind here, stats are gone from this game. no longer are there stats. You don't level up and allocate 15 stat points into like 19 different categories. That's gone. That's all wrapped up into the special. So that's a key thing to recognize here. Finally, let's talk about leveling systems. How are we going to level up in this game? Well, there are unlimited player levels in Fallout 4. It's a very exciting thing, and essentially that means every time you level up, you get 1 point to allocate in your perk chart. And of course, there are 70 perks, and also you can put points into each of your special stats. So really, there used to be level caps within Fallout. That's pretty much gone. There's no level cap. You can just keep playing and playing and getting experience and keep getting points to put into your perk chart. So this allows for a lot of flexibility and a lot of readjustment while leveling. You know, if you want to have more charisma and you planned your character as a strength character, you can just start dumping points into charisma, into that intense training to increase your charisma, and then you can get intimidation, for example, after a certain amount of levels. And that may take a while, and that's why I still think builds are important, but they're less important now, because if you just keep playing, just keep exploring, doing all of the content in one playthrough, it pretty much seems like you can get a maxed out character, because again, there's no level cap according to the game. It may be 999, but there's no level cap as we know it so far. Alright guys, that's all I have for you. Today we covered the new character system in Fallout 4. For my next video, we will start exploring each special category as part of my pre-release content. We'll begin looking at strength and work our way to luck over the next few weeks. So stay tuned to my channel for all of my pre-release content, and remember that this is your #1 stop shop for all Fallout 4 content. I'm talking how-to tips and tricks, weapon guides, character builds, settlement guides, you name it, and I will have it here on my channel. If you learned something new from this video, remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for continued Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. Of course, I got this pre-release content and then continuing when the game comes out and into the future. Hope you guys are looking forward to it, and I will talk to you next time. Peace.